to any issue. So our next story, gentlemen. Nothing, we are told, is ever permanent in this world except change. President Bola Tinubu, who doubles as a visitor to all federal universities, has announced the sack of vice chancellors at the entire governing councils of the University of Abuja, Uni Abuja. We flirted with the Yakubu Gowon University, if you remember, and the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Now, with immediate effect, replacements have been announced. Professor Patricia Manko is to replace Professor Aisha Meikudi in an acting capacity, while Professor Polycarp Chibu would be replaced by Professor Ogwe Jofo Ujam at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. All appointments to take place immediately and are meant to strengthen governance and academic excellence, Mayor.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it. The president has the prerogative to decide who and who he wants to appoint to be able to drive his vision for the education sector. And for whatever reason, he must have seen that the two universities, because they are not the only universities, that the two universities are not doing what in his judgment should be the standard for academic excellence in those institutions. So bringing somebody to replace them is, to me, it's no big deal. Provided those people, since those people are qualified to occupy those positions, I don't really see any big deal to it.
I see. Well, for me, I think, as you said, and I'm going to quote Egbon Bayononuga. He brought out a release for that, and part of what he said, I'm going to quote him verbatim. He said that the restructuring aims to strengthen governance and academic excellence within Nigeria's tertiary education sector. Yeah. I don't have any problem with that if it is aimed at strengthening. Because the university sector, it seems as if it's gone downstairs over there, the quality, the everything, and so. And then it didn't stop that. They also reshuffled the post-chancellorship. Okay, but the one that I am not too comfortable with is the UNN, the vice chancellor that is built to retire in February 14th. Yeah. So I would have expected, because of it should have been allowed to serve out for a week or two and retire before bringing somebody. But changing him abruptly when he has about a few days, that's the only one I'm not. Yes, that's the one I am not comfortable with at all.
Yeah, I agree with you absolutely.
But over time, changing personnel to strengthen institutions is very good, because even we're talking about your team before we came up at Arsenal, right? Your Arsenal team. You know, you always
very serious Arsenal fan.
I know about that.
No, he's not going to court.
No, not good. I'm not good there. Okay. No, I'll leave it to you. So you see that even when Arsenal is on the pitch, they always look at the bench. While they're still playing, they are looking at the bench of how to win that match from the bench. So I see President Tinubu as the coach or the manager who decide to say, okay, there are people on the bench that he wants to bring in to strengthen the university system.
The statement goes on to say, a team is as good as a captain.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, absolutely. So if, as I said, there's a proviso to my agreement, if it is to strengthen and to restructure the university system that is in need of that, and I think they have my applause for that.
And by extension of logic now, I hope you defer to me. Yeah, the man is built to retire in
a few
how
days
many?
Hence, a few days hence,
So if he goes home now without losing anything,
but how about his CV? Will you say retire him?
You see, when with all respect to Mr. President, when you take decisions, it's always also important to look at the interest of the person that you want to take a decision against. It is unfair for somebody to spend the larger part of his life in an organization, tried the best he could for that organization.
I wonder.
And then when it's just some few weeks to retire, and then you remove him, it's not as if he has done anything wrong. But sometimes it is good for us to take decisions with a woman face. We can wait. They can wait for him to retire
for him,
and make the announcement after.
No, they can even say at the expiration of his term,
Okay.
I mean, it's language.
I wonder if
it's
this is what, I'm wondering if this is what the French meant when they said the more things change, the more they remain the same.
Yeah. Not really.
I don't think it doesn't play this.
It's just that, it's even possible that while taking that decision, they may not even consider that the man will soon retire.
Maybe.
They may not even put that one on the table.
Maybe.
When the president was taking that decision. Because I can't understand why somebody, except it is punitive. If it's not punitive, if it is just that you want a better environment, that's why you are bringing in new people, then you should have allowed somebody who was supposed to retire. Because you see, when you work in a place and you retire, it's because you have done the best. You have given everything that you have to that, and then they believe that it's time for you to retire and go and rest. So for somebody to now say that you leave, another person go there, when it's just some few weeks, I don't think that is tidy enough.
And the question is that, I wouldn't know if you have the answer, all the benefits that are accruable to retirement, can you enjoy it?
Of course, yes, of course.
Okay, but because the nomenclature is removed, not retired.
Of course.
So that's why I'm looking at it again. Another aspect also...
They use the word remove because the president is changing them.
Oh,
but
changing them.
It doesn't affect whatever years they put in, except they were found guilty of offense or certain things or infractions. Okay. But if that is not that, because you are removed does not mean you will not get your entitlements. It's a lot more different
from kicking him.
Kicking him, okay.
It was not kicked.
But I'm not thinking that there are other two ladies, the one you mentioned, Marco, but there's also a proviso that they are not eligible to stand for any context for the election.
They are acting.
After six months, they are not eligible.
No, because the reason for that is that there's going to be an election.
But they can't stand in election. They're not qualified.
Because they don't want to pick. They were deliberately picked. They wanted to pick those who will not be part of that election. Because if you allow them to be part of that election, you are giving them advantage.
It's a stopgap.
You are giving them advantage.
So if it's an interim,
it's an interim thing.
It's an
interim thing. Yes.
But again, as I said, in taking this home from my end, we wait to see what these changes will bring to those universities. Whether they are going to be looking bright. University of Abuja is not a university that is a small fry. It's not one of those backstreet universities. I mean, and it's also named after a man who spent 9 years at the university.
That was it raised a lot of dust.
That's what I'm saying. Well, whether it does or not, but at least that's come to stay. Or like the Maulag, the Maulag.
It raised a lot of dust.
No, but the name changed.
Yeah.
But the name has stayed. It's called, when you say University of Abuja, when you say the Yakubu Gowon University of Abuja, formerly known as, it stayed. That's what I'm saying. So that name, over time, nobody remembers as UNIJO. I mean, Uni Abuja is going to be, we don't know whatever nomenclature.
It will take some time, but eventually people get used to it.
Even when people raise, it's not, the does they raise not as much as what they raised Maulag here when they brought Maulag. Remember Maulag?
Yes, that one is different because, people across from University of Lagos, we are the premier university in Nigeria. We can't just dilute our name like that. It's a special name.
What's in the name?
No.
Special name.
That which you call a rose.
Or you want to compare University of Lagos with University of Calabar?
No,
I'm asking.
I'm an alumnus. So
all of us. I got diploma from Unilag as well. So we are all Unilag people.
But are you saying Moshood Abiola was not deserving of...
No, of course he's deserving.
He could have been somebody
No, he's deserving, but the circumstances at that time, University of Lagos is like, it's an iconic university.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So you can't just change the name like that. That's why the community, the Unilag community didn't...
Okay. But if it was changed to OAU and...
We are talking about University of Lagos. We are talking about one provisional
but all of them are the same level of premium.
No. Don't. Every university is important here. Of course. All right. Again, the debate will continue.
Exactly.
But let's take on our last but not least story. Standing for election in my country, your country, is a big deal after all, regardless of the position. It is governorship election time again